We're now joined in the studio by Ms. Su Xiaohui, Assistant Researcher from the China Institute of International Studies. Welcome to the program, Xiaohui. What is the aim of Japan to name hundreds of uninhabited islands this time?
Well, I have to say that every country has its rights to exercise sovereignty rights concerning its territory. Well, so to name more than 100 islands is not the problem. The problem is that 5 islands belonging to China were involved in this naming, and as Chinese government has already said that we already has named these islands, so it is groundless for Japan to carry out this kind of action. And I believe this move is on purpose. Well, it is natural that after the purchase of island, as you talked about before, Japan has exercised a series of actions to try to undermine or challenge China's sovereignty concerning the Diaoyu Islands. Well, it is true that Japan has already made some claims in the international arena to say that they have the sovereignty. And in actions, Japan carried out military drills alone and with the United States to try to strengthen their defense forces or capacity concerning related islands. And this time, to rename the islands is another action carried out by the Japanese government to try to steal the sovereignty from China. So that is what behind Japan's action. But I don't believe it will change much about the current situation. Well, China has reaffirmed again and again that we have the sovereignty over the islands, and we have submitted concrete materials to the United Nations. And what China is doing is that we carried out regular patrols over the islands, so it won't change the current status quo.
Right, and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is on his visit to Latin America immediately after President Xi Jinping left the continent. And we have also heard the Japanese media said that Japan and Brazil will jointly hold a press conference to contain China. What do you know about that?
Well, we have to go back a few facts about this event. You're right that it was released by Japanese media, Kyodo Press, that Japan and Brazil will have a joint statement talking something about China, the rule of law and the situation in East China Sea and South China Sea. So this is one fact. Another thing is that Japanese media released a draft joint statement, not the final edition. And the third thing is that shortly after that, Brazilian officials talked to media to clarify the situation. The officials said that, well, the joint statement will be focused on bilateral relationship between Japan and Brazil. It was unlikely that it will touch upon the territorial disputes between Japan and China. So from all these facts, we can conclude that it was Japan who utilized the international arena again to try to challenge China's sovereignty. But the other countries are cautious enough in dealing with China. You're right that Shinzo Abe followed our President Xi Jinping. Well, it is all right for China. We want every country to be a partner of the region. But as for Japan, it is useless to try to balance or try to counterbalance China's influence in that region.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Ms. Su Xiaohui, Assistant Researcher from the China Institute of International Studies.